Samsung Galaxy Solar.
Thanks for coming down, guys. Welcome to the studio. Gulp. In the bottom left, in the red, our Terran player.
KT Rolster Speedy.
Gulp, gulp, gulp. Gotta stay hydrated.
I love your drinking sound.
Yep.
Is that how it sounds when people drink? Gulp,
Yep.
gulp, gulp.
That's why I make the big bucks, Ro32. All right, into this game. Let's see if Speed can do a better job here. Let's also not forget that Solar is a really formidable opponent. So, you know, if it was a different player, maybe we would have a closer series. There's a good chance it's completely realistic that Solar just closes this out 2-0.
Oh, absolutely. You would expect such.
Microsoft Team Pult.
Oh, these guys are the After Hours Gaming League champions.
Look at this
league
Tosis.
that, of course, Tasos' brother helped out with.
That's right.
It's pretty crazy.
Yes.
Which means those guys work at Microsoft.
Yeah, man. Welcome, guys.
Guys, how do I get it to stop asking me to install Windows 10? You got to tell me after the cast.
You gotta. All right, guys. We got the Reaper coming up here. He's going to be moving out. And let's see. Let's see if this game's going to be a little bit different. Let's also take note here. We have, in the last game, 2 tanks and a medevac were picked off, and that really does take away a lot of momentum from the Terran.
Totally.
Medevac tank is possibly in some ways the strongest thing that there can be comboed together. If you look at it, I guess maybe medevacs and Marines are quite strong too. We kind of, take that for granted, but to lose that early on is pretty crazy.
It's a lot of money put in, and all he gained from it was like slowing down the creep spread a little bit, whereas normally what he should gain from it is also having tanks to help blow up Banelings and Lings as he does his pushouts later.
Right.
And he was then, of course, missing that, and that's a big problem. So the amount that hurt him is pretty insane. I actually hope that he does like the same type of thing here and just
a little bit
performs
more
it a
clean.
bit better.
Sure, yeah.
It was just some miss micros we saw. He just misclicked a few times. Everyone gets that every now and then, but makes sense. This is Code S, man. This is like, if you are a StarCraft 2 professional player or aspiring professional player, this is it.
This is it, guys. And I got to say, man, this season has just sized up so well. We've got old players, we've got new players. The expansion set is amazing and is making for some very different and very action-packed games. I think that this is, I absolutely love Legacy of the Void. I think it is such an improvement from Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Pretty much the greatest thing ever made. Well, I'm just looking forward to like every day, to be honest, coming in. It's
yeah, me too, man.
So much fun to just like
I just love
it's hard for
learning
me to put it into
when it's like a
words
new RTS.
how much I love
There's
it.
so much potential there. All these new strategies we can see. It's really exciting.
Yeah, to see everything just kind of get worked out. It's like, and God, it just takes so much of the good from StarCraft 1. It's like,
it really does.
It's hard for you to really put into words.
You know what it is? I think there's just so many new powerhouse units. Sometimes in RTS you get a new unit, but it's kind of like, There's some units obviously stronger than others, but this really is upped the ante a lot here.
Yeah. There's just so many options, so much you can do. Well, right now we do have a Liberator on the way for some harassment. A medevac has already been sent out with a Widowmine and 6 Marines, and he's making that 3rd command center.
And the Liberator will probably go up towards the main here, the upper left side of the Zerg's base, start trying to harass there. That's where the minerals are most accessible for Liberator harass on this map. But you definitely want to try to send your Liberator to as many different places as possible. I mean, that's one way to exploit Zerg as they expand more and more, is it's more places to defend.
Yeah.
And with the Liberator and the medevac, that makes it a lot tougher.
Well,
Liberator also... Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, he got 3 Ravagers. So right now we have Solar not screwing around against this harassment whatsoever. He's getting absolutely everything that he needs to be able to take this out efficiently, this harassment.
If Zerg, I was about to say, with that Widowmine here, Terran actually gets to hold this position. You got to be really careful about that. The difference between just having Marines and having the Marines in the 1 medevac is if it's just Lings to defend and it gets a good connect, you are in trouble.
What's interesting is I don't know if he's actually sent the Liberator in at all yet. No, I guess not. He's just kind of pushing away some Overlords there. Look at this, and he actually still has that Widow Mine there.
Yeah.
And he missed where the Widow Mine was.
Well.
Okay, and then he killed it. Okay, never mind. I guess that
hits.
I guess.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that was off a little bit. Anyways, double layer?
Oh my God. What? What?
Yeah, I just heard the Korean commentators go, oh!
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah. I'm like,
They
wait
made
a
that
minute.
like confused dog
This
sound.
isn't
like,
how this
"Brr."
works. Like, you don't need that.
All right, he's going to pick up again.
Yeah, and actually the Widow Mine getting 9 kills right there. Very nice. The Liberator is still just chilling, man. Look at that
Went
guy.
AWOL, man. This is mutiny here.
I guess so. This is the most patient Liberator I ever saw.
Now, I want to talk about something here. You know, I think we get so used to seeing medevacs with Marines in it go down, we get a bit desensitized to it. If you actually add up how much money it is, if you lose a drop and don't do damage, that's like throwing it, like lifting a command center off and flying it in their base, right? We'd be like losing our mind if we saw that, but we see this so often in TVZ.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, if you have a few drops that aren't effective, it's pretty serious, man. You're really throwing away a lot. Now, luckily, it's not the case here with speed, but a lot of times when we cast Terrans, that is the case. Is they're trying to harass, they're dropping everywhere, and they're just, you know, they're feeding. They're losing too much of their army.
Yeah, definitely not something that you can keep up in the long term. Certainly later game, you'll see people throw away medevacs, quote-unquote throw away, where they don't do much damage, but that's actually to pull army around so that they can make certain strategic moves. It's a trade-off. And oftentimes quite worth it. But right now we do actually have speed moving out very quickly. 3 medevacs boosting towards the main, and the Liberator going towards this back natural. No, actually going to turn around. Ooh, that is a perfect location.
Whoa, gonna get one. It looks like maybe even at least 3 drones here.
Yeah. Well, you will be able to get that out of there as well. Those 4 medevacs turning around as they do see plenty of units here to greet them.
Solar, being hyper-vigilant, is completely ready for this drop in his main. So a wise decision here for Speed to go ahead and back up.
And look at this. He's just sitting the Liberator there. I really like this, especially because Solar didn't go for Spire-based play. He can sit that there for a long time and wait till he really thinks Solar forgot about it to try to get more damage.
If Zerg doesn't get a Spire, you can play such a different game. It's pretty incredible. I mean, Zerg kind of has to just power through the game and just put up with your harass, whereas if you have a Spire, then Terran suddenly has to proceed with caution. So this is definitely a good way to play. The better Zergs will usually handle themselves just a little bit better overall against stuff like this. But so far, so good here.
Well, yeah, Solar has been one of those better Zergs. You know, he's handling himself perfectly. He's not really taking too much damage anywhere. And he's doing this very powerful strategy that we've talked a lot about and seen a lot, where you go Roach Ravager into that hive very quickly, switching to melee upgrades while getting Infestors. You know, he's going to go into that Ultralisk type composition. He's turtling heavily. He didn't take his 4th too quickly. And Speed hasn't found a whole lot of damage yet. So it's looking okay for him so far. But look at this, a big drop in this back natural.
Oh, for some reason, Lings are over there. So he's coming down here. Now, the Lings alone, he can definitely handle this. He doesn't have his army quite gripped up properly. And that means if he micros this correctly, yeah, there you go. The Zerg's going to have to turn around and drop over here as well.
Big move right now for Speed. If he gets that 4th base, that is a huge moment for him. And it looks like he will.
Nice play.
Look at that. He's going to save almost everything as well. Look, getting the 4th base against this strategy, this is what you have to do if you want to beat it. If they have 4 bases going Ling Ultra Infestor with some Ravagers already mixed in, that's very tough. But right now, he's dealing damage to this back natural, and he's forced that cancel.
I think Solar might just be falling apart. Well, that's going to fix it pretty quickly here. The combination of Fungal and Corrosive Bile is quite insane. Because if Zerg executes it correctly, Zerg's not trading. They're just destroying all of your stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes a bit of a tightrope walk here for Terran. Now we have a push coming out here. I think Solar might just be falling apart here. It's actually a 140 supply to 180, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to bring his army down to meet this because he needs that 4th base. But let's see. Oh, that Fungal, not exactly the best Fungal.
There was a better clump over there just a little bit south of that he could have used to try to take that on.
Some excellent Corrosive Biles do come down there and end up taking out the Liberators. But this is a lot of Marines, and he's targeting down these Ravagers very, very quickly.
That's it. GG. Speed wins game number 2.
All right.
And a very impressive showing.
Yeah, that was some really strong, solid play, and he was very patient. Look, he's like, you see his like sudden kind of jerky movements. Like, I know this feeling of adrenaline. Like, I have played plenty of tournaments, and that is You can tell, man. He's like, I've just beaten Solar. He might win SSL.
You see Solar here. He's got a curl on the back of his hair. He looks like a cockatiel right now. Yeah, let's see if Speed can do it. That was a good game by him. He had good harass to start. He knew where to hold, his pushes, when to pull back. But there was also a couple moments where Solar set like this kind of single file attack. He's like, okay, Lynx first, then then I'll send my roaches in there, and then those die, and then he gets the Ravagers, and he's like, wait a minute, these are too, costly to lose, and backs up. So I think Solar needed to keep his army bunched up a little bit more, and he could have held that harass, but normally it's not the drops that are wiping out armies. Normally it's the drops that are getting you out of position, but in that game, it was Solar getting a lot of his army wiped out with just harass, which is quite unusual.
Yeah. I do have to definitely point out again, like, Speed was very patient. Like, a lot of times you saw Liberator just sitting somewhere. He's like, okay, I can't get damage right now. Or 3 medevacs going around the whole map, trying to find a new place to draw. The same with that Liberator as well. So, patient, good play here by Speed. Solar's going to have to keep it tight if he's going to want to win here on Sky Shield.
Let's go to game number 3, Solar against Speed in match 1 in today's GSL Codex. In the bottom right, in the blue, we have our veteran.
Samsung Galaxy Solar.
Solar is a fitting name for the team called Samsung Galaxy. Can we just put that out there? In the upper left, in the red.
KT Rolster Speedy.
He is the rookie of this GSL.
Yep. Like a true rookie, his first televised matches were in Code A. A little bit of a bounce in his seat right now. If he can beat Solar here in the first match, like, it's half over. He's halfway to the round of 16.
Yeah, so much preparation going into a GSL for these players, man. It's, they've got to study each other well. Thanks for coming down, guys. We love you. Hope you're enjoying the games. Can leave the camera on him for a little bit longer, make him uncomfortable. We had that, what was it, like a couple seasons ago? I think we had like a new cameraman, but we just leave the camera on people's times for so long.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to have Terran taking an expansion here at the front. And we'll see how he keeps up with Solar this time around.
Just a standard Reaper expansion. It's not like we see Speed doing anything crazy. Sometimes you see a rookie come in and they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to do a 3-Rax Reaper one game. I might proxy some Raxes, at some point, a 2-base all-in.
Yeah.
That type of thing. But we're not seeing that out of Speed. Just kind of like, I feel like he believes in his skills, really. And it's kind of reflected with the interviews that we've seen and the play that we've seen as well.
All right, as you guys can see, the Reaper now coming out. Link Speed starting here. Command Center about halfway done.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Link
That's how I'm a pro.
Speed.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't see what I did there, which is what's funny about that. I was like, yeah, Artosis, sometimes I just do read off the production tabs at the start of the game, but, what are you going to do, right?
I'm like, all right, production, 1 drone, 2 queens. Oh, the drone's finished. Oh, no, 1 drone, 2 queens. Wait, 1 drone, 1 overlord, 1 queen.
And then I come in, I'm like, he's making a reactor. That takes a while to make. Back to you, Artosis.
Yay for production tabs.
It was actually weird when we casted Brood War because there's no production tab.
Yeah.
We were surprised half the time with stuff that was going on, too, man. It was pretty crazy.
It was pretty awesome.
I do wonder sometimes, is it better? I know for educational purposes, a production tab is always better, but I wonder for suspense purposes.
Oh, it's definitely better without.
I feel like at times, yeah.
Without doubt.
Without, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then everything's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I know you just see a building, like, all right, 11 mutas are on the way, and you can build suspense with that as well. But yeah, it's different when suddenly mutas fly across the map, or you go back and 4 battle cruisers are
building. Or
building.
in the Brood War days when they'd have 2 observers, and one guy would be the actual cameraman, the other guy would be like, all right, he's making carriers, but don't show it until 3 minutes from now. And then suddenly we go up to the upper right, and we're like, oh god, there's 12 carriers here. This changes everything.
Good days.
People are going, whoa, going crazy. People are clapping their hands like monkeys with cymbals, like jing, 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 jing. Everybody's just so pumped.
Indeed. All right, so it looks like this is probably going to be a 2-hatch muta two-base Muta build here by Solar. It's super popular on this map. But hold on, his layer finish, we don't see the tech building yet. He's actually being like really late about this. There it is. But yeah, this is so common that you would expect it at this point on this map. So Speed is trying to poke in and see what he can see. He can't really see anything.
Not much intel there. He does see the 2 gases, but that doesn't necessarily give it away.
His drop should fill him in as to what's happening.
Usually you can be a bit suspicious, though, when you just see Zerg on 2 bases in general for a while.
It's like, are you Nidusing me or are you going for a Spire?
And it's pretty clear by now, no Nidus, as Terran is now moving out. So we have the medevac coming in over here. And this incredibly... I'm under the impression this level is actually falling into the planet, right?
It
if
is.
these flames are coming up.
For sure, yeah. It's a sky shield.
I don't know if it's actually worth trying to defend this if this does crash on that blue planet back there.
Well, they're just fighting for the sport of it. This is the Code S.
This is pure blood sport, right? All right. He zones out the...
He did not see the Spire. The 3 queens actually pushed him back.
It's important to note on this map, it's much easier for Zerg to actually push back Liberators from the main. The main basically doesn't get hit by Liberators.
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Not that Liberators are necessarily bad because you can hit some other places,
no,
but
they're still fine.
You got to take that into consideration. It's not as good as a map where you can hit those main minerals.
Some maps you can hit everywhere with Liberators.
Yeah.
Now he's just doing whatever he can to clean up. Anything he can kill here is good. It's a win.
Now, he hasn't seen the Spire, but by now, he would have actually been hit by, like, let's say a Nidus all in. So he should be assuming Spire. We should see turrets starting at any moment, but we don't know if he'll do that again, right? This guy is a rookie. It's hard to say. Like, if he's keeping his cool. Okay, yeah, turrets start.
Okay,
so
good timing there.
Yeah,
so he should be ready for this.
Those are going to finish up just as the mutas are getting there, so that's excellent.
This is all
timing.
quite standard. Zerg is always expanding as the mutas are coming out. And normally Terran can't mess with it because they do have to stay back and try to defend. And then Terran eventually pushes out and takes his 3rd base himself.
Already floating towards it, in fact. Not sure he's going to be able to secure it right this second with the mutas out. Yeah, he's like sending his SCVs. That's a little bit sloppy. That's giving Solar a bit of free damage. And...
Oh, good job. He actually takes that out. Now, the mutas are pretty badly bruised.
Yeah.
So he's got to be careful with that because one misclick, if he gets too close to the Marines, they all die so quickly.
Yeah, those would definitely be on the clearance rack at the supermarket.
That's right, man. They'd be like that fruit right in the front. You know, they're trying to get rid of it.
Well, the mutas do fly into the main base now and are picking off a few SCVs. He's getting some damage done, and this is Terran really has to prevent as much as is possible at this point because when 2-base Muta can do this to you while they're expanding, they're going to catch up really quickly. Like as far as economy goes.
Yeah. Okay, he's driving this out now. Again, it's kind of the same rule for the Liberators. It's a little bit tougher for the mutas to move freely into the main because the main engulfs most of the corner of the map. So there's not this this space, this chasm back there where they can retreat to and go untouched.
Well, right now we do have a push out here by Speed, and Solar catching another Liberator. It bruises him a little bit, but this is not good that he's lost 2 Liberators at this point, especially since we have all these Roaches and Ravagers going across the map.
Okay, Zerg does want to put pressure on this 3rd base, ideally punt the command center back into the main. At the very best, destroy the command center, which is definitely a thing you can do with Ravagers if you get enough of those corrosive biles to connect.
Yeah, and you know what? This 3rd just has to be lifted. He absolutely 100% cannot hold on to that. He's like trying to build a bunker. No, he's just run your SCVs. This bunker on the low ground is actually very, very slow as well. So
one of the things I'll get to this actually in a second here. We have this stimmed army about to be sandwiched here. Roach is coming from this behind. Now this is a pretty ballsy move. He's going to just come right up here and try to actually breach him. Now he has enough corrosive biles that he can take out the Liberators. And in fact, Liberators are stacked. Oh, not quite. I thought he was going to kill two Liberators with 1 stone, if you will. Wow.
Yeah, and it does get the siege tank as well. This is way too many SCVs going down. Don't forget that behind this, we actually have a solid economy for Solar. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and clean us up, take this game, and GG. Solar ends up winning 2-1. All right. Definitely saw a pretty good play out of a first-timer.
Yeah, that was a good job there. But I still see Solar, Solar now getting up, going out of the booth. Great job by him. Look, Speed, He's a tough contender, but Solar, this is one of those moments where it is the veteran that wins. Experience at times just trumps all.
This was to be expected, but I think that, you know, Speed is playing well enough tonight that he still has a chance to get out of the group.
Right.
But, of course, with players like Solar and Classic in there, that is an uphill battle.
We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, our second match in today's GSL Code S.
Lies, please just let me go. You strung me on for far too long, so I gave up everything about myself, so I didn't feel alone. My magnetic heart still grasping on, afraid to let you go. My feelings based on your expressions, expressed in the way that it's sort of depressing. I was just my pain, I'm entertaining my oppressions. Some days I wonder what it'd be like if the light in your face never glowed. Would I rather live in darkness than know? I would rather rock than explode. These bombs are exploding inside my head, but I've never been more alive. These shadows of the dark just try around with a little less.
Mr. V, it's yours. Yeah, and right now we want to try to move back.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
The hunter lies in wait and waits and waits.
회의가 좀 늦게 끝나서.
그래요? 괜찮아요. 그냥 게임 몇 판 하면서 기다리고 있을게요.
아씨 뭐 하는 거야 여보. 아 오라고 좀. 뭐 철 만들었나 부서지지도 않네.
치킨 먹고 갈래. 치킨만 먹고 가라. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
웬열? 와, 움직임이 끝내주는데. 아, 진짜 부드럽게 움직이네. 플렉스볼은 굴곡진 덕선에도 막힘이 없거든. 발음 조심하자. 나 덕선이라 그랬냐? 턱선에도 막힘이 없다고. 저게 면도기로 가능한 거네. 역시 대세답네. 대세가 뭐야? 전세 같은 거? 요새 애들 다 쓰지? 그게 대세야. 그래가지고 내가 저거 쓰잖아. 그래서 나도 저거 쓰잖아. 선우는 뭐 쓰지? 보라 누나한테 물어봐. 태기는 뭐 써? 덕선? 너 나한테 왜 그러냐? 덕선이는 아직도 좋아. 야, 마이콜은 뭐 쓰냐?
2,500만 명이 응답한 플렉스볼. 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질렛. 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
K3에 지치지 않는 열정으로.
Passion is my fuel. The new K3.
신제품 브라운 시리즈 3를 소개합니다. 몇 번의 움직임만으로도 빠른 밀착 면도와 최적의 피부 편안함을 선사합니다. 전에 없던 빠른 속도를 경험하라. 신제품 브라운 시리즈 3 Only from Brown.
땀 타협하지 않기에 멈추지 않는다. 말이 아닌 땀으로 보여줄 것이다. 땀 흘리는 순간에 게토레이드.
내게 오른쪽에 빠졌어요. 머리에서 프로토스 뉴메타 분열기 메타. 이번에도 전화폭발 13방 나왔어요. 그전에 정석 분열기 메타. 서선민 지금 본체가 분열기 맞은 것처럼 분열되고 있어요. 패닝 상태죠.
Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Codes. Hot 6 GSL Codes Group F. Solar, Speed, Creator, Classic. Welcome to GSL.
Welcome back, guys. This is the GSL Code S. We're now going into our second best of 3.
That's right. We had Solar take out the rookie Speed 2-1. No big surprise there. Speed playing pretty well so far. Not sure if it's going to be enough to get out of the group here tonight, especially considering he's going to have to play one of these guys who are definitely not rookies in any way.
No. I think we can all agree Classic probably the favorite here, but he did just come from a pretty big loss, a pretty big upset only yesterday.
Indeed, he did. Creator, on the other hand, though, has not been in the same league as Classic for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, literally Wings of Liberty, he was like a top-tier Protoss. Like, probably end of 2012 was the last time this guy was really, really notable as far as top-of-the-world play.
Sure. All right, we are moments away from starting this. First, a closer look here at Classic. This guy, easily one of the greatest Protosses of all time.
Yes, the wind toss.
The wind toss.
As they say.
As they call him.
No, this guy, he's a champion of GSL, of SSL, foreign tournaments.
Yes.
2 BlizzCon top 4s in a row. The kid is unbelievably good. He's just so strong. He's like one of these guys that is underrated. No matter how good you think he is, he's underrated.
I think he's a little bit overshadowed. It kind of sounds weird to say, but I think he is a little bit overshadowed by players like Zest, SOS, and Hero.
This is true, but I would say right now, in my opinion, he's the second best Protoss in the world. I think he's stronger than Hero right now.
Man.
I think he's stronger than SOS right now.
Stronger than Deer as well?
I think they're really close right now. I think Classic is second, though. Yeah, I think he's maybe just slightly better than Deer right now.
Wow, okay.
He's super strong. Yeah, he lost last night. He's had some hard times against
I feel like he beat himself. He did this really weird build in Game 3. And I mean, I was talking to you about this a little bit on our before we got in here actually today. I was talking about how sometimes you know a build and you can win with it. That doesn't mean you should do it. And that's what Game 3 looked like for me when I casted that with GTR and SSL. Anyways, our countdown started. Let's do this. Our second best of 3, Creator versus Classic. In the upper right in the blue, our first Protoss player.
Genia Green Wings, Creator.
He's going to be aggressive.
In the bottom left, in the red, our other Protoss player.
SK Telecom T1 Classic.
Now, we've seen a lot of Protosses wall off on their ramp and expand into their main. That's clearly not the game plan here from Creator.
Yeah, I think he's going to be aggressive, just based on his first pylon placement, because neither does it wall him, nor does it help against Oracles. So, or even against Adepts. So just seeing where he put that first pylon, I'm like, okay, this is not what I expected, which is funny because, I mean, the Nexuses give you so much supply now, you don't make that many pylons, so it's so important where you place them. So just kind of,
well, I guess
something,
he's...
No, I guess not.
No, he's going to make a Nexus. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. You know, normally when we get into Codas especially, every single pylon has a special place on the map. Everything's quite mapped out. So I do agree with you. It's a little bit stranger to see that here.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just see how this plays out, but just something to take into consideration, I guess. All right, well, both players getting very, very fast Nexuses here.
Now taking their second gases. We're going to go ahead and see what happens after the core is done. Post-core is really when the matchup does begin to pick up pace.
Yeah, Protoss is pretty sterile before they get to choose that tech route.
Yeah, it's just, it's very basic up until that point in time. And this is, in general, builds like this is sort of what we've seen in all the matchups, right? They don't necessarily go, you know, Command Center or Nexus right away, although we do see that sometimes. But usually it's something that will prevent a cheese and keep you safe, and then they follow that up with a, you know, a pretty modest expand and power up from there.
Oh, well.
Now, I want to point out, already the build's quite different. One Stalker versus one Adept.
Yeah, and with Creator making that first Stalker, I mean, is this going to be... Okay, he is going to go into the Stargate from here. Whereas, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Now, it seemed like he wanted to keep that out of the vision of the probe. Or he's really bad. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is.
All right, so we do have the Twilight coming up for Classic, Stargate for Creator. I guess I'm just still like slightly confused by the placement of Creator here and like what his plan is. Like he's going just a few Stalkers. Obviously, Stalkers kill Adepts real dead, but
right. So he does take out that probe on the map, which means there's nothing else besides the Stalker that's out on the map here right now. And he might try to actually circumvent the Stalker. He has another Adept chasing this Adept, but
Yeah, the funny things about Adepts are when they shade away from you, that's, you know, you're not going to really do too much. So
right.
That Stalker a bit out of position. We do have the Dark Shrine coming up very quickly.
And
here for
important to
Classic.
notice here is that Creator's actually pumping Phoenixes, so he might not be ready at all for DTs.
Yeah, that is definitely something to talk about here, Tasteless. That could be a huge, huge problem going forward for him. And look at this. The Adept's actually getting some damage done. There's not a Mothership Core actually out yet. It's about to get out. I guess he gets to lift the Adept, which can be useful. But
yes, it's quite good. Robobase starting here. We do have a proxy pylon in the center right side of the map. And one more Adept here to continue on with his harass.
Yeah, and we actually have a Robo on the way for Creator. Where is that proc spawn? It looks like it's pretty far away, but he's building a gateway at it. So that's going to allow the DTs to warp in a hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah, certainly. And this one Adept does come in here. I think this wasn't incredibly effective. In fact, 0 kills on that Adept. So occasionally that can it can actually almost be a giveaway that you're making DTs, that one Adept. You know what I mean? You have so little, and there doesn't seem to be much of anything else that he's doing.
Yeah, it seems like he thinks it might be Oracle, but... All right, we do have the DT running up now, and the Observer is on the way, so he should be able to minimize damage pretty well. He's definitely going to lose mining time in some probes.
Kind of weird with the selection here. All right, so he does take out about 3 probes here. The second DT is coming up here. You want to hit both the Nexuses and force the Observer to split. I don't know if Creator's going to catch on. He does catch on right away. That the probes have been pulled. He needs to do more damage to these probes right over here. The Phoenix picks him up.
Yeah, it loses 3 more in that main base as well. Another DT on its way.
And you want to get them to not mine for as much as possible while you're taking your third here.
Well, looks like he's going to be able to clean this up now and not take too much more damage. Looks like another DT coming in.
This is pretty annoying.
Yeah, he's getting a decent amount of kills here. And the thing is, if you look at the actual types of units both of them have made and the upgrades they've gone for, Classic just had Blink finish. So even though he spent all this money on DTs, it's not like Creator can do anything to him.
Very true. Well, now Classic is just going to go ahead and power up back at home. We may see the game seesaw back into Creator now applying some pressure on his opponent. We have gateways coming out here. Remember, with Blink, there's a lot more that Classic can do with just these few Stalkers. So if the Phoenixes come over there to try to harass, he's got to be careful because the Stalkers can blink right under them.
Yeah.
We may see that coming up here right now.
All right, the Phoenixes are going to go ahead and poke in over here, but definitely can't get too much damage done. Gets 1 probe, loses almost a Phoenix, has to back out.
And it looks like Phoenix production is going to stop here. We do see occasional games where they get many more, like 7 or 8 Phoenixes, but this was sort of a weird game. Normally you're not getting Phoenixes to try to defend against anything. You're getting Phoenixes to control the game and apply pressure.
Yeah. And they aren't really doing all that much for him right now, but you can transition into like a different type of late game unit composition if you want with Phoenixes, like one where you lift up Disruptors and utilize like a very heavy charge lot immortal composition there with some Archons in there, of course. But the thing is, like, Classic sees that he has Phoenixes, so he's not even going Disruptor Tech. There's no point for him to. Instead, he's teching up to his own charge lots, and it looks like into Archons as well.
Yeah, he's also a little bit ahead in his +1 attack and his Zealot legs, as well as getting the Templar Archives. I don't believe we have a Templar Archives made yet here for Creator.
Yeah, I don't think so. And, you know, that's going to allow him to make Archons, possibly even get Storm here if he thinks his opponent is going for quite a few Immortals.
And the Warp Prism is starting. Now, they have to get a Warp Prism eventually in PvP, but this can be, you know, a moment where Classic is telegraphing that he's going to start a push pretty soon.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And don't forget, he has that Dark Shrine, and that is something that all game long is going to be useful for harassment.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, especially when there's more bases are being taken here.
Yeah, like if you don't have a cannon, 1 DT can kill a bunch of probes. And if you do have a cannon, then you drop 4 DTs, I'm not even joking, and it kills the cannon in like 2 seconds, and then you kill a bunch of probes. And yeah, that can be risky, but we see a lot of pro players doing moves like this right now.
Yeah. Pushing out now, and he should be acquiring his 4th base along with this. Let's see if he does do any pressure. I can't imagine he would actually attack 3 base into 3 base, but he might want to keep the pressure on so that the option of putting a Nexus down is no longer available here for Creator.
See, I think he's abusing the fact here that we actually have quite a bit of Immortal production going on by getting a bunch of these chargelets out very quickly, as well as the Archons. He hopes to be able to just kind of like overpower, like overswarm this, but I don't think there's any chance he can do that here.
Okay, he's just triggering the pylon cannon, and we're going to have Zealots coming here into the main. He can even go over that pylon right over there.
Yeah, the Phoenixes are going to come in, so not sure how much he'll get in. He does try to warp in 9 Zealots here. Will he actually? Yeah, he gets all of them.
Oh my God!
And
He's
then
going to go ahead and hit the
attack.
And you know what?
Crazy.
He has a good amount of Archons here soaking in the front. I think the Immortals over here are going to pose a serious threat, though.
Yeah, Immortals actually beat Archons and Stalkers. So.
This is so much unpowered. I think if he can get another Warp Prism over there, he probably should have started making one, by the way, right when he sent this in, because you know it for sure it's going to die.
You know
really
what?
stifled production here, and now it's 95 supply to 125.
This was really, really interesting because he actually has like vastly superior army supply after that. He can't break the front right now, but you're right. If he had another warping round of 9
I think he would have won the
front,
game there.
He might have broken his back,
Yeah.
but he didn't have anything to warp in because he had to sacrifice the prism to get into this point. So
Can I point out as well, there was an
good
Immortal
point.
actually picked off in that back base. That's one of the units you can't be losing.
Jeez.
It's not like the Zealots, which are essentially always the most expendable part of a Protoss army. They're there so the other units can live. The Immortal, not the case at all.
All right, so right now we do have that 4th base coming up for Creator, but Classic already took it during this. He's replacing that Warp Prism, getting some of his own Immortals as well. Everything looking really good for Classic right now, who leads in Army and Economy.
This 4th base over here should be the focal point. This should end up leading to the climax of this game, as it would appear that Classic has enough muscle to start coming over here, causing a serious threat to that 4th base. We'll see if it's the case when he actually does this. For some reason, though, we do see Creator moving out, and I find this to be a bit questionable.
If he had a prism on the map, I'd get it, right? Like you poke in somewhere, make him react to that, and then, you know, come up. But I think he might be zoning for this 4th base because he took the 4th base that's kind of far away. So, you know, there's like multiple routes that they can use to get there. And in fact, he finds this Warp Prism, which does have a few DTs in it. It's a very nice find.
Let's see if there's enough observers here. With our current production setup, we don't have... Okay, well, that was easily taken care of. We don't have our own preview PC, so it's hard to know if there's like multiple observers on the map or if it's just one with the army.
Nice little disruptor shot
kind of
there.
funny looking there.
By the way, I really like the way that Classic has played this. Instead of going right into disruptors against someone who already had Phoenixes, he went into the same type of mobile army composition.
Yeah.
And now that both of them are in the same army composition, he's added the disruptors to really gain the edge.
Yeah, he is not a robot this game. He's definitely thinking everything out. I love it as well. The disruptors are now coming up here, and we should see that tension over here on the 4th center base. And there's also a chance here that the Classic attempts to expand again.
Yeah, and look, right now we actually have 0 disruptors for Creator, so this is a point where he can kind of attack without any fear. These no disruptor balls are going to hit him, but if he hits one good disruptor shot in this army, it could remove a lot of Zealots.
Okay, he's coming up now, and the disruptors are in really good position here, so there's no way that this Nexus should manage to survive.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be able to get it, but actually those disruptor shots were kind of bad from Classic.
Yep.
Does go ahead and send another one back. Burns those Immortals, sets off their shields as well.
Okay, he's coming forward now. The Immortal's actually taking a ton of damage, and you know what? That's crazy. Yeah, you're totally right. The disruptor shots were not good. They didn't connect properly.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, he is doing a big warp in here to the main base. A lot of Zealots get warped in by Creator as well, but actually just more here for Classic.
Oh, good connections there. Disruptor's not quite able to get away, though. He will take those 2 out. And, yeah, if he just keeps taking out these...
Nice splitting there.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
looks like he will barely manage to actually save that pylon.
Yeah, it gets all cleaned up.
Kind of crazy.
Both of them actually taking 5th bases here.
Ooh, spotted.
Yeah, Classic a little bit tricky with his.
Yeah, actually, this might end up costing Classic the game because this is much less holdable for him than the position down there at the bottom right. The bottom right's pretty safe to expand to, man.
That's actually one of his probes that was sitting there looking at his other probes. So,
oh, was it?
Yeah, I had to really squint to the mini-map.
Yeah,
but,
I just saw the two probes spread apart, and I assumed they got spotted. Okay, good call there, Artosis.
So he might be able to just sneak this in without any problem. And, you know, recall costs like 0 mana now, so he can definitely jump right over there and bring a bunch of probes. He's actually transferring them, which I prefer less.
Well, I think he has to in this position. He can't just start pumping probes and hope.
Well, I think if he just recalled some, I would really like that move because it'd be so stealthy.
I see what you're saying.
It's okay.
I thought you meant just stay back and like.
Oh yeah, no, he needs to get some probes there if he's gonna have a hidden gold base. You gotta mind.
But he got him out of position here with those DTs. This means his base should go down.
Yeah, I'm surprised his whole army chased 2 DTs, but such is the way of things. And Classic gonna get 2 bases with this.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay.
Definitely a misplay.
You know, even if you can't see those DTs at the moment when you're chasing them, Creator
how
can
many are
definitely
there.
see. What? No.
He feels bad for how badly Creator
No,
misplayed.
that's so bad. What are you doing?
Yeah.
My eyes.
He doesn't even realize yet.
I'm about to become a Greek myth right now. Tasteless had to blind himself, and he could never cast again because that play was so bad where he actually let the Nexus live.
It wasn't as bad as an entire army chasing 2 DTs, though.
It's like, leave it to me. It's like, party's over.
You should do the voices
I
for
should,
everything.
man.
For everything in every game.
Listen, if Blizzard's watching, I'll just do all the voices for StarCraft. You get a special pack with this. Excuse me, I'm choking. With Tasteless, just does all the voices.
I would buy it. I would pay $19.98 for that, Tasteless.
Yeah, thank you. 1998, because $20 is too much.
I don't feel as guilty.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, he now spots this gold base, but it's a little bit late here. He's already mined a hell of a lot of minerals from it, but anything is better than never.
Okay, he's coming up now.
All right, a lot of disruptors on both sides. Definitely could still go either way.
We kind of lost a lot of momentum with this game with the really bad DT that just outpositioned everything, and then the Nexus not being killed. I'm like, all right, guys.
Well, that was
we're gonna start over. Try to not play so sloppy in late game, okay? People are watching right now.
Not something you would expect in Codes, but it is just the round of 32. Everyone makes mistakes. This is the hardest game that there is.
That's true. All
right, we have a lot of disruptor balls coming out here, and kind of frantic from both sides. Blows up his opponent's disruptors. It's very, very important.
Yeah. Oh. Kind of a funny blink there. Oh! Whoa!
Wow. Whoa! And suddenly things going towards Creator a bit more. Now, it's still like a slight advantage in some ways for Classic here. Like, he's still got good economy, he's still got good production, but he lost a lot of his tech units there. He's down to basically stalkers.
Well, like the warping underneath the warp prism there. Well, I mean, at this point in time, Creator's almost broken. I mean, he's like he's almost out of gas in the tank, man.
Well, the thing is, he still has enough disruptors. I'm not too afraid for him yet. Like, that you definitely can stage a comeback in this matchup if your opponent messes up like that. The thing is, we do have, I love this, an Oracle on the way to tag the army. Plenty of disruptors being made by Classic as well.
Okay, watch this, guys. Hey, guys, remember Lost Temple? Yeah, it's kind of like that back in Brood War. All right.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Oh, my God. I can't believe he's trying to attack uphill against Blink Stalkers with an Archon.
This is brutal. Oh.
I
don't know what's happening.
That was like panic clicks all over the place.
Those were some shaky clicks right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, he saved it.
Yeah.
I know we were all thinking it. Yeah, he did. He actually saved it.
And it looks like Classic is actually mining for that gold base again, which is a pretty big deal. Oh. Few missed disruptor balls here, but more and more harassment coming out of Classic. Just fighting right back in the game. The harassment is really peeling Creator apart.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we go into Creator's booth and he's not even in his chair. This is like a lot of absentee stuff going on in the middle of the map.
A lot of absentee voterism going on right now, Tasteless.
No kidding. This is... All right, well, we know how this ends, right? You guys in spoilers?
How's
Creator dies in the next minute.
I think you're probably right, Tasteless.
Like, push forward! Go!
Hold your ground, Friar!
He's like, I will die, Friar. And I'm like, you're pretty dumb, Zealot. And he dies. Should have valued your life a little bit more. You only had one. Classic wins game number 1. Crushing Crater there in the end.
The fact that Crater sent his whole army on after the 2 DDs and lost 2 bases because of it is like, you can't do that. You just can't do that.
I just keep laughing about that DT voice. Party's over. I'm trying to think of more epic things like that I could say in some kind of one guy's going to take him out. Like,
not this time. This one's mine. I told you I'd be back.
All right, guys. We're going to go into game number 2. Very promising games so far from Classic.
Yeah, he played quite well. There was definitely like that miss attack where he lost all his disruptors. You got to be so careful trying to kill someone when you're ahead in PvP.
Yeah. It was overall a well-played game. I think this is sort of Creator doing what we've kind of always seen from Creator. Play really well, but not close it, you know?
Yeah. Well, looks like our next map going to be Orbital Shipyard, much like the last map that we just had.
All right, guys, let's see if Creator can pull it back together. Right now, things, well, I mean, results have sort of been what we would normally expect. The veterans are taking out the less accomplished players, but don't count Creator out now. He has to win this game and the next. Upsets do occur. Anyways, the map is going to be Orbital Shipyard. We could see a game quite similar to our previous one.
Yeah, this one normally goes long in PvP. It's pretty hard to kill each other early on. It's like the most comfortable Protoss map really in the pool.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how they end up going about it. Like, it probably will end up with some Disruptor Wars, but Creator, does he feel confident in that situation? Maybe he wants to mix it up.
Let's find out. Countdown started. Game number 2, Creator versus Classic. In the upper right of the blue, he is
Junior Green Wings, Creator.
There he is.
Oh my God. In the bottom left, in the red, he is
SK Telecom T1 Classic.
All right. Both of them walling in. I like that.
Tosis approves.
There he is. Champion the wind toss himself. Classic.
Get a room, Pro Gamer and Trophy. Jeez.
Better put a ring on it,
Put
Classic.
a ring on it, buddy. Man, oh man.
That GSL trophy has just been cheating on him left and right, man.
That's right.
It's gone home with so many pro gamers.
Yes. So we have the double gate wall off here. Good to see Creator seems to be a bit more calculated in his placement this game. Last game we had a kind of generic pylon in the main with a gate.
Yeah. What is he going to do with this? Because normally when you go for like a 2-gate opening with double gas, you'll go like Adepts into Oracle.
I think since they're both wall in, I don't think you make anything.
Yeah.
In Korea for 3 years. It's the last day. Woo! This is the best way to spend the last day.
Indeed.
Thank you for coming down.
Wow, 3 years. That's a long time.
3 years, yeah.
Hope you guys have enjoyed it here. It's
We've
a wonderful country.
We've been here for 8 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, take that, 3 years, guys.
You showed them tasteless.
I sure showed them, man. No, it's a long time to be in Korea, man. Hopefully you guys can come back and come to the studio again sometime. We have the 2 stalkers coming up here. I wanted to touch on something briefly. It seems like if they both wall in, you might just want to go like straight into just Stargate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, are we both doing this?
I would say something
guess what?
like that.
Nobody's attacking anybody now.
Something like that sounds smart. Maybe this will be like a proxy robo.
Ooh,
it's the only thing I can think of because
that's how you beat Classic normally. That's what happened yesterday.
Yeah, anything else doesn't seem to make too much sense because like your opponent walled in, which means
he's going to do it. He's doing it.
He has the high ground. But look at this. The probe is just going to come find
Classic's like, it's not happening to me
Why
again.
don't he just makes a Nexus? Like,
wow, okay.
Look at this. He's looking for the pylon. He's looking for the pylon. He's looking for the pylon.
Oh, okay, he sees it.
And nothing there. And he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it, Artosis. Good job.
It's like, what is this build? So now we have a Stalker sitting outside the ramp at the bottom. Okay. Can't do anything really. I mean, I guess they'll poke up and then get pushed away immediately.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on.
No, I don't either. I'm just
I'm really a little bit confused here.
I mean...
I don't even know why he's microing this.
He had to assume that Classic was going to do something else or, like, not wall in or something like that, because I just don't see, like, a ton of logic in the build order of Creator here. You know what I mean?
You know, Creator has always been just like that not as refined pro gamer. Like, he looks good, he does play well, but it just doesn't seem like the builds are as, yeah, I mean, sorry to be redundant, just as refined as so many other players out there. And same with this, like, there's a lot of questionableness on what exactly is going on in this game here with him.
Yeah, well,
I'm kind of fine with what Classic is doing, but
thing is,
a lot of question marks here with Creator.
It's PvP, and he's got Creator on the back foot. Like, he sees observers coming out now, and he's like, okay, you're playing very safe because this does look a little bit weird what I'm doing. So he's able to take a much quicker third, and he has Blink on the way. So he definitely has, like, the map control this game. He's definitely getting the faster third base, and in some ways that'll make up for having such a slower natural base. You know, he's forced Classic into a defensive position.
I think with the Immortal he can push though, right? Am I wrong about this?
I think it's really tough against Blink Stalker. Like, I think you don't want to move out against Blink Stalker because
I guess, you know,
they will overwhelm Immortal's rallying.
You know, yesterday I guess I've gotten that affected me a lot, that cast with the Classic losing yesterday, because we just saw, you know, comboed with a Warp Prism. Like, he just micros that like crazy. And you know, when you're good with microing and a Warp Prism and Immortal, it's crazy how much extra damage you can actually do.
Certainly. But I think it just comes down to the power of Blink. Like, if he tries that, which he might. I mean, he's getting Warp Prism right now. I think that if you have your macro going, you have a decent amount of gateways, you are going to, like, if you snap that Prism out of the air, the game is over.
That's true.
So it's a little bit scary.
You could also send the Warp Prism into the main and start warping in Zealots.
Yeah, I like a move like that. Or Adepts.
Ooh. Artosis, you go in that booth and win the GSL right now. Okay, he's been spotted, but not much is going to happen with that Phoenix, at least. Now, if he does go in the main, he can start doing some craziness with force fields on the ramp here, and then Blink up. You have to use that to get on the low ground.
He actually doesn't have any defensively placed pylons. He's
that's
just
a good
making one
point,
now. And his Stalkers are not down to meet this, because with Blink Stalkers, you have to treat everything like it's a siege tank. Okay, good force fields, though, there by Creator. Buying a little bit of time right now.
Remember,
does
guys,
have his own Immortal as well.
It's Classic with the without the Blink here.
Yeah. He's getting Blink, but it's a little bit late. He's got to be careful here with his micro. He is forcing everything back.
Okay, here's the Warping with the Adepts. Causing a big hiccup in income here. And they should be shading over here to the... oh, nope, they're going to cancel that. Adepts now coming back. And he's actually going to pick this up. And he might even try to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought he was going to reinforce that push at the front. But already, Classic is going back home and just regrouping. So when it's said and done, there is a significant worker lead right now for Classic, and overall better supply here for Classic as well. So he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's definitely outplaying Creator. Like, you can see that he's a better Protoss player.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. But, you know, Creator does end up holding on. He does have 3 bases, and he is going into Disruptor tech. So, I mean, these are all formulas for coming back in this game. You know, you have Disruptors out, and suddenly it becomes very, very difficult to kill you after you hit a certain amount. And look at this. Oh, this is a big move right now.
Whoa.
Picking off a full Warp Prism.
Not even able to unload that. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Question is that really enough, though? I would say no. But well, there's a Warp Prism here for Creator coming out now. He might be going into the main to try to do some Warp-ins there and maybe get Classic rather out of position here.
Yeah. Where there's a Warp Prism, there's a way. And we'll see if he finds that way with this. He does have an Immortal in it, so definitely a lot of micro can go down. We have Blink for Classic, though. Little bit of a poke up.
Oh, that's bad.
Wow.
Don't want to be losing any robo units. That makes things very sticky when you're in the late game. You never have, obviously, anywhere near as many robos as you do gates, so you have to balance out what you're making at any point in time, and that's the one way to exploit your opponent in PvP is to have the better balance, right? And, of course, observers are just simply put mandatory in this matchup. You can't play in the dark.
Certainly not. And right now, though, he is getting ready for that Warp Prism drop. We do have Classic kind of pushing out, chasing these Stalkers down, so this would be a great time to execute that drop. He is going to go in with it.
There should be a warp-in round ready here if he wants to warp in right underneath this. And remember, if he warps in underneath this with Stalkers and Blink, assuming that's what he's going to bring in, that can be pretty scary.
Well, right now is Classic just warping in a single Adept while he walks over with his Stalkers. Just wants to keep this Immortal alive. It doesn't matter about the Adepts.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that's going to go... What?
All right, well, I guess the Prism does get away. But he gets 8 probes off of this. Loses an Immortal, that kind of sucks, but...
You know, not too impactful overall. I guess he does still have a Warp Prism, but he's got to be very careful. That is so low on HP.
Yeah.
We are at the phase where Disruptor